below that, we have how your strategy works. So explain to you how it all works, right? You can, usually it comes like this collapsed, and then you can open it up and read basically what it's about. And then we also have a diagram, which here I have to regenerate it, but you can see a flow diagram of what's happening. But for the most part, I'm starting to feel like this new infographic is actually kind of like that flow chart, but better, right? So it's kind of like what it should have been, right? Okay, so just a reminder, that's kind of the lay of the land here. You have your tabs up at the top. You have your strategy details. You have your deployments, which we're going to be getting into today. We're going to be deploying strategies, basically getting them to run on a broker. We have our code. So you can see basically a code. If you're a coder, if you want to get into the code, you can grab it here, right? We have our back test, which we don't have any yet, but I'll start one in a second. And then we have our environment variables, which are used to do all sorts of things. Like if you're back testing futures or options, I'm not going to get too detailed into that right now, but there's a lot of different things you can do with environment variables. But it's definitely on the a little bit more technical side. We're working actually as much as possible, so you don't have to touch this section at all, right? Because we want to make it as simple and easy to use as possible. But this is a little bit more of the advanced side of things. Okay, those are all the tabs across here on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, and by the way, it's under the preview. If you look, there's chat versus preview. On desktop, you won't be able to switch this because it's going to keep both open. But on mobile, you actually see it switches to just the chat view or the mobile view or the preview view. So if you're doing this on a mobile device, that's how you switch between. But it's using this chat versus preview. And then in the chat side, you'll see that there's the actual chat that we're on right now. We have the chat history. These are all the different chats that we had with little labels saying that there's strategies attached to them because not every conversation has a strategy with it. And then you can go strategies and you're able to see all of your strategies that you're using, and you can actually search them and that sort of thing, which we've actually done a bunch of improvements on as well. All right, so nice little lay of the land there. Hopefully that all makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions around that. So that's kind of the first part of the homework is create this this strategy. The next part of the homework was to back test this, right? So to do that, I could do two different things. I could either just tell the AI, back test this, right? I could also say back test this over the past year. I could say back test this over April of 2025. I could say back test this over the COVID crash. I could tell it all sorts of stuff. It understands really a lot of different language around that, right? So you could get it to back test any kind of thing you want. If you say if you just tell it to back test, it will kind of pick a default. In this case, it picked about a year long, right? So it's going back about a year. So January 1st, 2025 to January 1st, 2026. And you see our back test is starting up here.